भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरये। शृण्वं स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृदयन्तस्त्वहेवादानि विदुनोति सुहृत्सतम्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भगवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भाविति नैष्टिकी। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुलङ्घयते गिरिं यत्किपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। श्रीचैतन्यैश्वरं श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम्। Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 22, verse number 19 and 20. This chapter is called Pruthumara's meeting with the four Kumaras. Text number 19, 19. संगमः खलु साधूनाम् उभयेषां च समातः यत्सम्भाषण सम्प्रनः सम्प्रश्नः सर्वसं वितनोति सम्. Translation by Divine Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. When there is a congregation of devotees, their discussions, questions, and answers become conclusive to both the speakers and audience. Thus, such a meeting is beneficial for everyone's real happiness. Purport: hearing discussion among the devotees is the only means to receive the powerful message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For instance, Bhagavad Gita has been well known all over the world for a long time, especially in the Western world. But because the subject matter was not discussed by devotees, there was no effect. Not a single person in the West became Krishna conscious before the Krishna conscious movement was founded. But when the same Bhagavad Gita was presented as it is through the disciplic succession, the effect of spiritual realization was immediately manifested. Sanat Kumar, one of the Kumaras, informed Prithumaras that this meeting with the Kumaras benefited not only Maharaj Prithu but the Kumaras as well. When Narada Muni questioned Lord Brahma about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Brahma thanks Narada Muni for giving him a chance to speak about the Supreme Lord. Therefore, questions put by a saintly person to another saintly person about the Supreme Personality of Godhead or about the ultimate goal of life surcharge everything spiritually. However, whoever takes advantage of such discussions is benefited both in this life and in the next. The war Ubhayasam can be described in many ways. Generally, there are two classes of men, the materialistic and the transcendentalist. By hearing discussion between devotees, both the materialist and the transcendentalist are benefited. The materialist is benefited by association with devotees because his life then becomes regulated so that his chance of becoming a devotee or making the present life successful for understanding the real position of the living entity is increased. When one takes advantage of this opportunity, he is assured of a human form of life in the next birth, or he may be liberated, completely and go back to Godhead. The conclusion is that if one participates in a discussion of a devotee, he is both materially and spiritually benefited. The speaker and the audience are both benefited, and the karmis and gyanis are benefited. The discussion of spiritual matters amongst devotees is beneficial to everyone, without exception. Without exception. Consequently, the Kumaras admitted that not only was the king benefited by such a meeting, but the Kumaras were as well. Verse 20. अस्ति एव राजन् भवतो मधु दिशः पदारविन्दस्य गुणानो वादने रति दुरापा विदुनोति नैष्टिकी का कामं कस्यं मलाम् अंतरात्मनः. Translation: Sanat Kumar come to remind the king, you already have an inclination to glorify the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such attachment is very difficult to achieve, but when one has attained such unflinching faith in the Lord, it automatically cleanses lost desires from the core of the heart. Purport: Satam prasangam mama birya samvido भवति हृत्कर्ण रसयानः कथानः रज रजसनात् रजसनात् असापवर्ग वर्तमानि श्रद्धाराति भक्ति अनुक्रमिष्यति. Bhagavatam 3:25-25. By association of devotees, dirty things within the heart of a materialistic man are gradually washed away by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As silver becomes shiny by being polished, the heart of a materialistic person is cleansed of lost treasures by the good association of devotees. Actually, the living being has no connection with this material enjoyment, nor with lost treasure. He is simply imagining or dreaming while asleep. But by the association of a pure devotee, he is awakened, and immediately the spirit soul is situated in his own glory by understanding his constitutional position as the eternal servant of the Lord. Prithu Maharaj was already a self-realized soul. Therefore, he had a natural inclination to glorify the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the Kumaras assured him that there was no chance of his falling victim to the illusory energy of the Supreme Lord. In other words, the process of hearing and chanting about the glories of the Lord is the only means to clarify the heart of the metal contamination. By the process of karma, jnana, and yoga, no one will succeed in driving away contamination from the heart. But once a person takes the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord by devotional service, automatically all dirty things in the heart are removed without difficulty. नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णभूतले समर्थे भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नमः नमः सर्वदेव गौरवाणी प्रचार निर्देशन पाश्चात्य जगताय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna everyone, thanks for joining and giving me the opportunity to speak on this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. So on this verse, we see, like on this chapter specifically, we are talking about the four Kumaras came to meet with Maharaj, or you can say the four Kumaras came to give associates, association with the to become associated with the Prithu Maharaj. Prithu Maharaj, who is the Saktyavyas incarnation of Lord Vishnu, the four Kumaras were the first son of Lord Brahma. And when Lord Brahma asked them to produce progeny, the but they denied, and they preferred to become to maintain like a sannyasa role of life. So they left the Brahmaloka, and also they desired to to have like age that 4 to 5 years of old. So the poor Kumara's age was 4 to 5 years, 5 years, and they used to have they used to roam in all the planted system without any clothes. So like Sukdev Goswami, so he was so detached to this material world that he even don't care for the bodily feature, like the time of Sukdev Goswami. And when Sukdev Goswami used to go to roam around the around the city, the women, the girl, everyone, they come and prostrate, but they don't have any kind of shyness in front of Sukdev Goswami, because he's so they know because he's so detached, even though he was naked. People used to come and put obeisances. Similarly, the four Kumaras, they're so exalted personalities. Okay, so the four Kumaras are before they were impersonalists, right? So when they came to the Vaikuntha planet to meet Lord Narayan, by just smell of the tulsi leaves from the lotus feet of Narayan, they become devotee of the Lord. Also, the four Kumaras get instruction and they first heard the Srimad Bhagavatam from where? Is from the Lord Ananta says, Lord Balaram, right? So, so in this sloka, four Kumaras are giving importance of sadhu sangha, right? So this is two things like so I'm summarizing two things. One is called the importance of sadhu sangha in this verse number 19, and in the next verse is 20. So in the next verse 20, the importance of this is the benefit of surrendering to the lotus feet of the Lord. So these are the two important factors we're going to discuss, like important points. So here, in the four Kumaras are emphasizing the importance of sadhu sangha, sadhu sangha. So who is sadhu? So Lord Kapildev says, Lord Kapildev is instructing to his mother devotee about the sadhus. The symptoms of a sadhu are that these are the characteristics of sadhu, who is tolerant, merciful, and friendly to all living entities. He has no enemies. He is peaceful. He abides by the scriptures, and all his characteristics are sublime. When there is a sadhu sangha, so the question arises: so when there is a sadhu sangha, what they do? So they discuss. The answer is they discuss and glorify the Supreme Lord Krishna, and discuss about the powerful message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They do not have any other business than Krishna Katha. So when we observe yourself in Krishna Katha, when our heart, these wonderful pastimes, when our heart hear, when we basically hear these wonderful pastimes of Put Maharaj and other exalted devotees, then our heart begins to get purified of the material contamination that is separating us from the process of bhakti. And when we have this knowledge, then even if you are engaged in worldly duties, you will be detached. Just like a lotus flower, it is in water, but the water does not touch the lotus flower. So similarly, when we fixed in Krishna consciousness, we get separated from the illusory energy. Doesn't matter, we may be studying, working, or doing full-time services, but our activity will be for the pleasure of the Lord. And that is why Prabhupada recommended the Bhagavatam must be studied every day, because regularly study of this, then definitely the development of love of Godhead will gradually develop. So our goal is to become Krishna conscious. Here the word Here the word Ubhayasam can be described in many ways. Generally, there are two classes of men, the materialistic men and the transcendentalist. By hearing discussion between the devotees, both the materialistic and transcendentalist are benefited. When we can see example about Prahlad Maharaj. Okay, so what's the benefit of sadhu sangha? Prahlad Maharaj so related personalities. You know the demoniac. The children of the demoniac father and mother. They used to study together with Prahlad Maharaj. But Prahlad Maharaj instructed him the Krishna Katha, the Krishna consciousness. So they become also Krishna consciousness. So we can see by just association with the pure devotee or pure Vaishnavas. So one has to elevate to the Krishna consciousness, which means he'll get benefited. Similarly, you can see another example of Dasti Ratnakar, then later he become Balmiki. Dasti Ratnakar, he was a dacoit, right? So Narada Muni one day asked him, why he is killing the peoples for the sake of what? He said, I'm just doing for my family life. So then that the story, right? So then another one said, like, go and ask them what are the sinful activities you are doing. Will your family will take the any kind of sins, whatever you are accumulating? But then family like then he inquired and the family said, no, we are not going to take any sins. So then later on, he was so sinful that he could not even, he could not say Ram. He was saying Mara, Mara, Mara. So then eventually, after doing this, he becomes, he was pronounced Ram, and then later on, he becomes Valmiki, and then he wrote the Ramayana. So that's simple, but the instruction and association of Narada Muni. Same thing, another example is, I'd say, is called Mrigari, the hunter, right? The Mrigari, we know the story of the Mrigari. So similarly, the Mrigari was so cruel that, he was just killing the animals. They didn't killing the animals, just a half killed animals. Like they caught the legs of the animals, then the animals will lay down. He just watch and see when the animal will die. He was getting so satisfaction out of it. But when Narada Muni instructed him about Krishna consciousness, right, by association of devotees, so what happened? He was so exalted personalities. Mugari, the same hunter, you know, he was lying down. He could not. He don't want to wake up because he was thinking, if I wake up, if I walk, my feet might be, some of the ants, some of the different creatures, or some kind of germs. He was so kind of compassionate, because the sadhu, the ornament of sadhu is called compassionate. That's so compassion developed in the heart of Mrugari, right? So, we can see, similarly give another example. Haridas Thakur and prostitute, simple association how the prostitute get benefited. Similar example, Jagai and Madai. Similar example of Srila Prabhupada came to this Western world, and he converted hippies to devotees. Okay, that's the importance of sadhu sangha and association, right? Anyways, the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes of and activities of Supreme Personality of God is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation, and therefore he is freed, and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotional service begins. So it is. So then in the verse number 20, specifically talks about the lotus feet of the Lord. Who are surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord. So they are just simple. They just overcome the clutches of Maya. So why you say, why are we called the lotus feet of the Lord? Why are they called lotus feet? The spiritual planet, this is the meaning, the spiritual planet Golok Vrindavan, the eternal abode of Lord Krishna, is shaped like the whole of a lotus flower. Even when the Lord descends to any one of the mundane planets, he does so by manifesting his own abode as it is, like the Vrindavan. Thus, his feet remains always on the same big hole on the of the lotus flower. His feet are also as the beautiful as the lotus flower. Therefore, it is said that Lord Krishna has lotus feet. Okay. So another meaning of lotus feet is that we should have past darshan of the day of the lotus feet of the Lord Krishna. Krishna's feet is lotus feet because the lotus is untouched by the fleeting water and is always away from earthly attachment. Krishna's feet are untouched by any kind of material attachment. His lotus feet remind us to remain far away from material desires and rise above all of them. We also call this feet Mahat Padam because the source of material existence rests on his feet as everything emerges from him. Similarly, the devotee should first concentrate his mind on the lotus feet of Lord, which are adorned with the marks of thunderbolt, a gur, a, a banner, and a lotus. The splendor of their beauty, the splendor of their beautiful ruby nails resembles the orb of moon and dispels the thick gloom of one's heart. Pure devotees are attracted to Krishna's lotus feet. The pure devotees are always hankering after the lotus feet of the Lord. The lotus has a kind of honey which is transcendently released by the devotees. They are like the bees who are always after the honey. Srila Rupa Goswami, the great devotee Acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, has sung a song about his about this lotus honey, comparing himself to the bees. O my Lord Krishna, I beg to offer my prayers unto you. My mind is like the bee, and it is after some honey. Kindly, therefore, give my bee mind a place at your lotus feet, which are the resources of all transcendental honey. I know that Even big demigods like Brahma do not see the ray of nails of your lotus feet. Even though they are engaged in deep meditation for years together, still, O infallible one, my ambition is such, for you are very merciful to your surrendered devotees. O Madhava, I know also that I have no genuine devotion for the service of your lotus feet, but because your lordship is inconceivably powerful, he can do what is impossible to be done. Your lotus feet can deride even the nectar of a heavenly kingdom, and therefore I am very much attached by then. O supreme eternal, please, therefore, let my mind be fixed at your lotus feet so that eternally I may be able to relish the taste of your transcendental service. The devotees are satisfied with being placed at the lotus feet of Lord and have no ambition to see his all beautiful face or aspire for the protection of the strong arms of the Lord. They are humbly by nature, the devotees, and the Lord is always learning towards such humble devotees, right? So yesterday we're talking about, I asked question about to Maharaj about karma yoga, jnana yoga, right? So here mentioned that in Prabhupada in this purport mentioned about karma yoga, jnana yoga, like the bhakti yoga is far superior than karma yoga and the jnana yoga. So, whatever you are going to achieve in karma yoga and jnana yoga, it will take a long time to achieve the same thing, but it is very easy to achieve the same thing using the bhakti yoga because the bhakti is the foundation, right? And all the yogas are either mixed with bhakti. If it that is no bhakti in this yoga, so then you cannot say that that's yoga. But somehow this is called, this is what Prabhupada mentioned. So they emphasize the importance of Bhakti Yoga. So everything is, that's why Prabhupada mentioned, everything that can be achieved by fruitive activities, karma kanda, or penance, tapas, knowledge, or jnana yoga, detachment or vairagyam, mystic yoga, right? Or charity, or religious duties, dharma, all other means of perfecting life is easily achieved by my devotee through loving service unto me. That's what Lord Krishna is saying in Bhagavatam. If somehow or other my devotee desires promotion to heaven, liberation, or residence in my abode, he easily achieves such benedictions. So thanks everyone. And also happy Naswan Chaturdashi. Maharaj was telling, like, simple in he was telling the previous life of Prahlad Maharaj. He was a kind of like Ajamil. He used to do sangha with a prostitute. So, but one day Maharaj was telling, so they have, because, husband and not husband and wife, but yeah, the lovers, they fight together. But then on that day, some or other, it was Narasimha Chaturdashi day, and they fast unknowingly. But see, unknowingly fast, the next life, they become Prahlad Maharaj. So that was a search related, So just do a fasting on this day without unknowingly. So if you know, and if you on this day, if you pray to Lord Narasimha for for purification of our heart, so that we can progress in our bhakti yoga. So with this note, I'll stop here. Please forgive me if I made any mistakes while summarizing this particular.